Hello and welcome to episode 91 of the Movie Bros podcast. We're your hosts, as always, Duncan and Hayden. Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone. Happy, I guess, technically happy Sunday, although we are recording this on a Friday.
If you're new, folks, this is a weekly podcast. Two brothers watch a movie, talk about it, very straightforward. We cover all movies, all genres. This podcast is available on Spotify. It's available on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. Reach out with comments, compliments, complaints, thoughts, witticisms, anything like that. Yeah, that's kind of all the things that we usually say at the top. This week, folks, we're going to be talking about The Secret Agent. And Hayden, what are some fast film facts about The Secret Agent?
So, this is a first for us. This is I don't know, have we done a foreign, like, non-American film before?
I feel like we have. Oh, we did Stalker,
Oh,
which we didn't like either.
Well, we're getting possibly ahead of ourselves, but yes, this is another non-English movie. This comes to us from Brazil, released last year. This is written and directed by Kleber Mendoza Filho. Music here is by Mateus and Tomás Alves. Cinematography is by Evangelina Alexandrova. This stars Wagner Moura, and there's a entire large cast of other people.
It's his movie.
I didn't really write any of them down. Genuinely,
no, that's okay. That's okay.
And I figured I would keep the butchering of names to a minimum. And that's also a reason. We may have given away, perhaps, our thoughts on this movie when we mentioned Stalker. But Duncan, what would you give this a rating?
Well, and of course, we are going to break this down further. But when I look at my letterbox, I didn't give this a rating because I don't really. Maybe like a 2 out of 5 is probably where I'd put it. Because there are parts that I'm like, okay, I see there is potential, and I think the language barrier, honestly, some movies it's not as prevalent, but this is such a slow, like you really have to understand exactly what they're saying. And a lot of it is not even what they're saying, it's like the read between the lines of what they're saying in a different language.
Yeah.
So a lot of it, I had to Google like the plot afterwards to be like, okay, is that what the fuck even happened? What am I supposed to like understand that they didn't even clearly say?
Yeah.
So I think it could have been worse.
It could have been worse. That is technically true.
Well, some like the cinematography was mostly nice. I thought the color grading was pleasant. I think like there's a lot of subtle acting from Wagner Moura that I thought he was good in this. But I mean, we'll talk about it more. But Hayden, what is your rating for this?
I gave this a 1.5. I was really underwhelmed by this. I genuinely disappointed.
It was
I
a
heard
slog.
a lot of.
Yes.
I heard so much good press about this.
Yes.
I thought, okay. I'd seen a lot of still. I'd seen a lot of like reels and things. Okay, this looks really cool, and I don't look at my phone often when we're watching movies. I mean, either on my own time, but especially not when we're watching something for the podcast. I probably zoned out for like a half an hour.
Yeah, it took a while to. When I say get going, I'm like, it never really got going.
And to Duncan's point, yes, the language barrier I think is an issue because so much of this is like subtlety in the phrasing and things like that. And I think that is true. Also, so much of this is very specific to the politics of Brazil in 1970s,
Yes.
which
Yes.
I fully admit we don't understand. So I'm sure that a lot of this is going to be lost on us. That being said, I was bored. I was confused as to what was going on, and I fully think that nearly 3 hours long. This is a 2-hour 45-minute movie. Fully believed 80% of it was waste of my time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
So I don't actually have I mean, saying that, I don't actually have a whole lot written down specifically, just
I have a few
because
things, but yeah, not a ton.
again, as you say, it's such a slog to get through, and so much of it is kind of uninteresting. I just stopped writing stuff down after a while.
Yeah, I mean, most of my stuff is in towards the beginning anyway.
Yeah. Which is
Um,
weird because most of the stuff that I think people
actually
gave this
happens.
high marks for happens in the final 40 minutes of the movie.
Yep, yep. So going in completely blind, I did not realize the runtime. I thought it was 90 to 2 hours, and I was like, oh, it's a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, I did not realize that either.
The chapters, like the boy's nightmare, the um, what I can't even remember whatever the other chapter titles were.
The chapters didn't almost have anything to do with anything. Why do that?
Thinking about it, I was like, okay, if you had these chapters, just do this as a mini series then. If you've already broken it into parts, like,
Sure. I did actually like the opening of this. I think the bit where he
oh, I
drives up
like the
to
opening.
like
The
that
the
gas
the cop.
station and the cop bit, like
Yeah,
that's very well done.
I thought that was
Um
good tension.
I did notice this reminded me of Bone Tomahawk in the way that there is surprisingly little music going on.
Yep, I wrote that down. I was like, man, like 90% of this movie has no music at all.
And I feel like it would help
Yes,
if there was.
yes, I 100% agree. 100% agree. Um, I did like, because I'm sure obviously it's just the era and that's what was available in Brazil, but like all the VW Beetles just fucking everywhere.
His Yellow Beetle, so nice.
Sure. And the color grading had that softness to this, to where like all the brightly colored cars really like it the background of a lot of the cities were a lot of these like tans and browns, and then there'd be these little pops of like, oh, the phone booth is that bright yellow,
Yep,
or the VW, so it's easy to pick out in a crowd.
sure. I so we mentioned the color grading, and I did come to appreciate it after a while. It did really remind me of like the stereotypical Mexico color grading that you'd see in something like Breaking Bad when I first,
Sort of.
when you first get it. Like it does come to become, very richly colored and
They're
interesting
actually like
later.
in
But
the
like
city. Yes.
the opening bit there, I'm like, wow, they really just said, brighten everything and make it yellow.
Well, I mean, they were off the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. Maybe, yeah.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't particularly like that, but I
Sure.
do think that it does get better.
I do get that it's the style of the time and the weather, where it's just hot as fuck there, so that's why people are dressed this way. But Wagner Moura's outfits, I was like, dude, suave as fuck. I wish I could pull like
Oh yeah.
the shirts and I don't know. Big fan, big fan.
Also, in the most non-weird way possible, he is a really good-looking dude.
Yes,
Like
yeah, he's a good looking
he
guy.
is super handsome throughout the entire thing. I
The
wish
long
I
hair is kind of wild.
well, I think it's, because that's a flashback to when he was in the 60s.
Sure,
I don't know, I'm just thinking like, man, I wish I could have facial hair like that. I like
sure,
this dude
sure.
looks really handsome.
Well, what I think that's part of his character, but he had this like calmness to him for like most anything was happening. He's like, yeah, I'm
Oh
just
yeah.
talking. I want to hit that guy with a hammer and kill him with a hammer, but yeah, I'm just talking. Which one of my main gripes in the end of the movie, there's not a whole lot of result. Like,
There's
not a
no
lot
closure
is
to anything.
resolved. There's no
No.
closure. Yes, like the bad guys didn't get got. The good guy got shot, and like, and his adult son is like, oh, I don't even remember him. I'm like, dude, what was the point then? If what the fuck?
I feel like that ending bit where they're having the conversation in the modern day hospital would
Yes.
mean so much more if the plot had gotten me to care about the characters in the 70s.
Yeah. Oh, or this again, especially if you know already
Or if
that.
there was fucking music. God damn.
Yeah. Yes. So. Oh, and the leg in the shark. I'm like, I'm sure they keep coming back to this. I'm like, they didn't really explain why this even fucking matters.
I would
Oh,
agree,
and then
but it
the
is
leg hopping
not
around.
so egregious as the fucking zombie leg scene
Yes,
where
in
we
the like
spend
cruising park. Yes.
15 minutes watching a bunch of people fuck in public and then get attacked by a leg. What in the hell is that here for?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I literally I had to go to Wikipedia or something to find the plot. 'Cause I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on? Because like, so apparently they wrote an article that was supposed to create hysteria in the community to distract from the fact that the
Oh,
leg was most likely a cover up from like the police throwing it in the ocean and then the shark ate it kind of thing.
sure.
But
I guess that
still,
makes more
yeah,
sense, but like I I feel like we shouldn't have to do extra
research.
research to understand what's going on in a movie. That should be conveyed.
Well, and that's why I think I could have given it a worse score. But I'm like, okay, maybe if this was my first language, maybe I would have picked up on some of the stuff.
And that's fair, and that's fair. Um yeah, I don't know. Just yeah. I was very confused and bored a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do think it's funny looking at my Google document here. I've down like several different times where I would pause it and write down, like, huh, it's weird nothing's happening yet. I wondered if you're like, man, this opening scene at the gas station is taking way too long. Then I have another one saying, man, this is a 2 hour, 40 minutes movie, and 25 minutes in, there's nothing really happening. Then I have
mm-hmm.
another one here of like, oh, wow, at 2 hours, now the plot's actually starting, which is just this needed so much time to cook in the editing room, and I know that this is that director's style because I decided to look him up on IMDb, see what else he has done. Everything else he's done is also really long, and all the reviews say, oh, well, yeah, this is shot really well, this is acted really well, but also there's simply too much here. It appears that all of his movies are just really overstuffed with fluff, I would say.
Which I think I very much agree with those reviews. I'm like, oh yeah, it looks nice, the acting is good, but yeah, there's just too much.
Yes.
Well, I don't. I mean, that was kind of all I had for this, and sometimes I think it might be just a short and sweet
I I
discussion.
I I I agree, but also I was kind of in my head watching this. I was like, okay, let's say I'm in the editing booth. How would I chop this up? And I feel like in my head, I could probably cut this down to under 2 hours and have it be so much more snappy.
Yes, and maybe that's just not the style. I mean,
I mean, clearly not.
I think some movies are good as a slow burn. We might be doing Blade Runner later on, and I think that's
Well,
meant to be a slow burn.
okay, we might be getting ahead of ourselves talking about 2049 here, but I think the reason why 2049 works as a slow burn, even if it's a different genre technically, is like that has a really interesting philosophical
Score,
story to tell. And I don't feel like this does.
fair, totally fair.
Like if you look at the plot synopsis of this, it's like, okay, Marcello flees a violent past and becomes entangled with anti-government resistance as he tries to leave the country with his son, is technically accurate to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That plot doesn't start for over an hour into the runtime.
Yes.
You could start this movie at the point where he's being recorded on the interview thing
Which
and
I didn't.
lose
Okay, and then
nothing.
they cut to the like present day that they're listening to them.
I
Like,
was so
oh,
confused the first time.
okay, it's we're doing this whole thing as a flashback or whatever.
And again, that's another thing that's never really explained of who these characters are, why they're listening to this. I feel like they literally could have just foregone that storytelling device, kept it in
Mm-hmm.
77, and have it be, again, you cut out like 20 minutes of that if you do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really wanted to love this because I'd heard so much good things about it.
Agreed.
Just, yeah, very underwhelmed. That's about all we have to say about this, I feel, unless Duncan has anything else.
No, no, you're good.
So we're going to switch over to what we've watched, what we're looking forward to, things of that nature. Duncan, since you literally work at a film theater, movie theater, why don't you go first?
Well, looking at the calendar, I think the last time we recorded was like the 8th, which would be last Wednesday. So anything after that, okay. Um, Strange Wilderness, 2008. This was a really not good Steve Zahn led
Oh,
sort
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
mockumentary wildlife. It was really bad, really really
Well,
bad. Which,
yeah.
but like very young Jonah Hill, very young Justin Long kind of era. Um, and then I watched the drama, which I thought it was very good. Going in blind is the right call.
I've heard it is very polarizing.
It's there's a lot of stuff about gun violence that is not. I mean, the trailers I think do a really good job of portraying this as like a romance, and it is not a romance. Um, we just talked about Licorice Pizza last week, and Alana Haim, who is in Licorice Pizza, is one of the main supporting cast in this, and she's great at being the person that to hate. She's great in that. Uh, Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, I think, do a really good job. The set design and the costuming in it is really nice. Wherever they filmed it, I think they said it's some apartment in Boston or something like that. But like I would absolutely, I mean, do whatever I need to do to live in that apartment. It's fucking awesome. I watched Only You, which is from 1994. This is the Marissa Tomei, Robert Downey Jr. She believes in it's the plot
Never heard of
is
it.
it's so dumb, but mostly you're just there for like, oh, they're both very attractive and they eventually end up together. Spoiler alert! So that's what
Yeah,
you're there
Marissa
for.
Tomei is really hot.
Oh, dude, yeah. Um, and then I watched something called The Cooler, which I had never heard of. It was just a suggestion on Amazon Prime. This is Alec Baldwin owns a casino in Vegas, and his cooler is basically William H. Macy, who has such bad luck that anytime he is near anyone who is doing really well, he gives them bad luck. So he's employed by the casino to basically make sure anyone who's winning too much loses it all. And then eventually he meets a girl who eventually gives him good luck, and then it's them like trying to leave, and Alec Baldwin's like, "No, you can't leave," and then it gets kind of violent, but it's good. Um, 3 out of 5. I watched something called The Letter Room. This is a 30-minute short film starring Oscar Isaac that absolutely could have been made into a feature. I found it on Canopy, which is the public library streaming service, which is kind of cool. Basically, he works as a corrections officer at a jail, and he gets put in charge of all the uh, incoming and outgoing mail, and it's just him getting way too connected to one inmate's letters between him and his wife. It's left a little much to be desired, which again, I think maybe that's the point of it being a short film, because then people actually want to pay to make it into something full length. They put you might have to Google this, Hayden. The mustache that I don't think it's his real mustache, but it is ridiculous. It is so comically big.
What's it called
Uh,
again?
it's called The Letter Room. It's from 2020. It's I mean the poster maybe doesn't do it justice, but just when he's
Oh
walking, it
no, he's
looks
got a giant caterpillar mustache.
yeah. It's like he's got a full paintbrush on his lip, which is super fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course the secret agent. But the main thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know if you've seen this, but Sunshine from 2007,
That's a great movie. Yes,
dude,
it's
fucking
so good.
awesome. I
It's so good.
a very I watched this at work last night. Cool cinematography, a fucking stacked cast
Oh
for
yeah.
2007. And it's Danny Boyle, who has gone on to do a lot of things that people know, especially recently. He did all the 28 Years, Bone Temple, all that jazz. But like
Mm-hmm.
Chris Evans, Rose Byrne, Cillian Murphy, Michelle Yao, Cliff Curtis, Hiroki Sanada, Benedict Wong, Mark Strong. It's a fucking stack, and uh, it gave me like, oh, this is perhaps a more darker version of Project Hail Mary, because it's very similar plots actually.
Kind of.
Well, shit's getting cold. Sun's either dying or they got to fix a problem in space. They bring a bomb with them. I don't know. It's similar. Either way, that is what I have watched in a quick rattle off version. What have you watched, Hayden?
Um, I've watched through some of my horror movies. I need to return them to the library. I'll probably be doing that this weekend. Regardless, I watched Cobweb, which is nearly a great movie, and it is only a good one instead. It's about a kid. He's like, you know, 10 or 11 or something, and he has insomnia. He can't sleep, and he keeps having this like waking nightmare of seeing his mother like become evil and chase him around and stuff. And it really plays with the idea of, is what he's seeing real or is what he's seeing fake? It's very, very good at um playing both those as if they're true at the same time. That was really cool.
Okay.
I I was disappointed that they actually decide one at the very end. I think it'd actually be more creepy if it was just left ambiguous. But that has Anthony Starr from The Boys playing Homelander,
Okay. Yeah, I recognize him.
Lizzie Kaplan, who you would recognize, but she's not as big of an actress. So I watched that. Um, I watched
Oh, yeah, I recognize her.
yeah, I watched Imaginary, which was not good. It was about a haunted teddy bear who turns into a giant like bear monster with giant teeth and claws and stuff, and it was really stupid. So
Okay.
would not recommend that. And then I watched Oddity, which is the second film by the director behind the fuck was it called? He's an Irish director, but he also has a new movie coming out called Hokum with uh yeah, not Michael Scott. What's his name?
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. Michael Scott's a character. Anyway, Oddity was cool. It did a lot with suspense, a lot of I don't know, just a lot of subtle things, kind of moving around in the background by themselves, or just lots of underlit shadows. And yeah, I thought that was pretty atmospheric and fun. So it gives me hope that Hokum will be better than his other first movie that I saw, which I did not enjoy. I thought that was way too way too unpolished, but I did like this one. So those are the only things I've watched. So I know that CinemaCon is going on right now, and that there are
Mm-hmm.
lots of trailers coming out and things like that. I'm actually kind of avoiding watching them just because I
Likewise.
don't want to be spoiled for a lot of stuff. Like, I know that if you really want to Google it up, you can find, full reveals of what Doctor Doom looks like and things like that. And I don't know if I want that to be ruined for me yet. So yeah, I haven't actually looked it up.
Well, I think that's kind of everything. Next week, we are talking about the Summit of the Gods. This is a animated, like adult animated movie on Netflix. It's only like 95 minutes, so if you want to check that out and follow along, I'd say check that out and follow along. This coming week, I'm off to see Speed Racer on Monday night in IMAX. I literally got one of the last tickets left for a sold out show that filled up in like an hour and a half, like completely sold out.
Which that's kind of cool to see the Speed Racer has garnered that much of a following. I am jealous that I couldn't make it because of switching to nights, so I don't
Sure.
have that free time off. But I do own my own copy, so I'll probably also watch it.
And it's actually crazy because originally it was just one day, like 2 or 3 shows and a couple locations. And apparently it was busy enough that where it's now 2 days in a row and they've added multiple locations. So, yes, it's a cool thing that a movie that's, 20 years old that was not, I don't remember it being a
It
big movie.
it bombed on its original opening because people were not expecting it to be, in all honesty, pretty goofy.
It is pretty goofy, which I am looking forward to the
But
goofiness.
that's kind of the charm.
Mm-hmm. So we're checking that out this week. What else?
I would like to probably make time this weekend to go watch second Mario movie, just because I'll have some
Mhm.
free time on Saturday, so I think that'll be fun. And then the Undertone, the horror movie centered around podcasts, is now free to watch on Fandango, so I will possibly do that as well.
And I've got In Bruges from the library, and I've also got The Verdict the Paul Newman courtroom drama that again, our dad has said it was very good. It's rated very well, so I'm gonna hopefully check that out this week. We'll have to see how.
Oh, and then I'd like to finish watching In the Name of the Rose, because I started watching that a couple days
It's
ago. It's a
it's
Sean Connery
I've seen it. Yeah,
detective movie where he's a monk.
yeah. We'll talk about it once you've seen it, but yes.
Yeah.
Well, folks, sometimes these episodes are this long, and sometimes they are much longer.
I don't
If you
know. I
have
think 15 minutes talking about the actual movie is kind of
fine,
admirable for us for this time around.
if you have suggestions, you know where to find us. Tune in next week for the Summit of the Gods. Maybe we'll see you at Speed Racer, and we will talk to you all next week.